Okay, guys. We are going to see if we can pick up where we left off. We did break over and checked out Marf for a minute. Anyway, let's see. Here we go. All right. Da-da-da-da-da. Hey, ABQ Skies, how are you? We had to first in back, yay! We had to break for a minute because Marf was live, and I didn't know if it was a show or if it was, he does those intermittent uploads and stuff. Oh, you're good, Scan. Who knew? No one ever knows when it's Marf, and I wouldn't want to miss anything. And so that's how come I got off. I mean, yeah. No. So it's interesting. Yeah. Yep. And what happened? Yeah. Oh, well, I don't know if you were here earlier, JR, but we were doing news and hi, Helen. Um, we were doing news and Scan said Marf was live. I didn't even get the notification, but that could be because I'm using my phone and that's usually where I get my notifications. And so I usually ignore them anyway. But that's probably why I didn't know that Marf was actually even live at the time. But it's cool. We got to go over and see Marf, and we do know he is going to be live tonight. So I do hope to see everyone tonight on Marf. We're going to continue, though. I do still have a couple more stories to get to that I really wanted to cover. I know, me too, Scan. Me too. He needs a schedule. Jared spoke with Mark. Oh, that's cool. I'm glad you spoke with Mark. I hope Mark is doing good. I hope he makes it back. He was here too. Yep. Okay, so I don't even know where we were at. If anyone wants to refresh my memory now of where we was, I will go with it. If not, I'm going to just get back into these headlines that I have about Brexit. Oh, well, Brexit's supposed to. Hey, Susie, how are you? Hello, Andrea. Hello, Susan. Well, sweet, this is actually, if you give me a second, I will pull that article back up though, because this is really just a continuing, and we already covered that, but I will cover that news again for you, darling. Let me see. I just have to find the article. Okay. Oh, goodness sakes. Okay, well, I'll have to go back to that article. Anyway, it says 2 are dead and dozens of thousands of buildings without power due to a storm in France, reports. Flooding the landslides disrupted access to the Goret and the Artostine ski resorts in southwestern France, with the commune of Laurens running out of drinkable water due to the problems with its supplies. On Saturday, strong winds and flooding in southwestern province of France caused the death of 2 retirees and power outages in dozens of thousands of homes, with 11 departments declaring an orange alert, the AFP reported. Here is a picture of the flooding transpiring there. 2 men aged 70, 76 died in the Pyrenees Atlantique in the Base County and in the Lot et Garonne region, respectively, as a result of the severe weather. One of them was found in a car which had it hit a fallen tree, and the other was swept away by the rising waters. 5 more people were injured by trees falling on their vehicles. Some 40,000 homes lacked power on Saturday afternoon, the AFP said, citing electricity utility operators in Enedis. And And again, let's see. According to the company's representative, representative, 2,000 technicians were sent to cope with the problem. Overnight, 400,000 homes had sustained power outages, power shortages, blah. I'll get together, guys. Due to floods with rising high waters to 2.7 meters, which is 9 feet, it says. And of course, that was the picture that we had. Sorry, guys. My computer and just not wanting to operate quickly enough for me, and I get impatient. Give me just 1 second. Okay. Now, anyway, as I was saying, my headlines and all the stories that I cover are in my Wixit site, and there is not a Wixit. I did not put it in here, so I'm trying to get it to come up again, guys. So bear with me, and I will update this here. I'll stick it in the chat here. Okay. Okay, so here we go. So that way, I was...
This is 227-time State Fair baking champion Lynn Ripley Smith.
Okay, guys. Here's the Wexit site. For those of you that I did not get... I tried to get back online too quick, guys. And so I did not put it in this description box, but it is in the other it's in the other description box, because like I said, this is just a continuation, but that is the news that is from oh goodness sakes. And now I lost my article. Goodness sakes, guys. Give me just a second. All this, I lost my article trying to say, having issues today right now, and I don't. All right, let's see. See if I can find it. All right, guys. More than one way to skin this cat here. Lordy be. Well, I'll have to use my own link, guys. Is that not crazy? I couldn't find it. No, I found it. Okay, so we're going to go to... Nope. Here it is. I was in the wrong place. Okay. So, here's the next article. Sorry, guys. Sorry it took me so long, but after I clicked out of the one thing to get to the other story, I messed everything up somehow. But anyway, I'm going to read to you this article that Brett Barr is basically calling out the hoax on the president and the media. It says, this is an article from Brett Barrett, and it says, Duelist, the P-tape hoax is finally absolutely dead. It's time to brand the rushers who put it. Imagine the most widespread hysterical conspiracy theory in America came not from backwoods rumor mills, but from the Ivy League staffed megacorp owned news media. Oh wait, you don't have to imagine anything. You've been living this reality for years now. The last 3 U.S. presidents have seen some of their opposition unite under the banner of really juicy conspiracy theories. For Bush, it was the 9/11 was an inside job. For Obama, it was an ineligible foreign national, became a commander-in-chief, possibly a sleeper agent for Muslims. The Trump, it's the hostile foreign power installed an illegitimate president who would do its biting thanks to the humiliating blackmail material. Those two first conspiracy theories have been beaten down by time and vigorous debate, with experts and institutions meticulously fighting the sexy, imaginative narratives of their opponents. Yet the Russia conspiracy continues to thrive because the experts of the institutions haven't admitted the obvious conclusion to draw from the evidence. The experts in the institutions remain true believers. Just this week, the star lawyer for the House Democrats impeachment inquiry refused to disavow his promotion of the most salacious popular element of the conspiracy theory. Let that sink in. Someone who is telling the American people to trust his judgment for the removal of an American president, while testifying under oath to Congress, held fast to a lurid sex fantasy that any reasonable adult can see has been 100% disproven. I'm talking about the infamous P tape, of course. This week it was finally decapitated, burned, and buried thanks to the DOJ Inspector General review of the FBI's Crossfire Hurricane campaign surveillance. The most succinct summary of this development comes from Rolling Stone's Matt Taibbi, no friend to Brett Barr or Trump. The Steele report reads like a pile of rumors surrounded by public information pulled off the internet, and the Horowitz report does nothing to dispel this notion. At the time the FBI submitted its first FISA application, Horowitz writes it had corroborated limited information in the Steele's election reporting, and most of that was publicly available information. Horowitz says of the Steele reports, the CIA viewed it as an internet rumor. And anyway, there's just a little bit more to this article. Well, actually, there's a lot more to this article. But here we have Britt Bay. He's out there. He's telling everyone, guys, he's screaming it from the rooftops that, obviously we have major issues that we're listening to these stupid people push this narrative, and there's people still listening to it, and it's been proven. But yet you're supposed all of this impeachment stuff, you're supposed to believe, you're supposed to listen to people because believe me, they said it. This impeachment is not because of sound facts or anything else. I mean, give me a break. What is it going to take for people to wake up? I mean, this mess has really got me irritated. Anyway, we will continue.
Well, because the impeachment thing, they didn't even do the article of impeachment on what they claimed they had on him.
Right.
That is none of it put in there.
And I had mentioned this yesterday, guys, but here is an article from Fox News to confirm the story that I had told you about with the Florida schoolboy. It's from Fox News, and you will find it in the Wixit site, guys. It is of the Florida schoolboy who was 14, was beaten over wearing a Magna hat. And parents claim as a shocking video goes viral. And it says 5 young students in Florida were charged Friday after the video posted online allegedly depicting the group pummeling a 14-year-old classmate on a school bus. An attack, the boy's family claims, occurred after their son previously wore a MAGA hat to school and voiced support for President Trump. The 5 students in Hamilton County were charged with misdemeanor battery stemming from the November 21st incident that Sheriff's Office told WCTV of Thomasville, Georgia. The mother of the 14-year-old boy posted a video of the incident on Twitter on Thursday, saying her attorney approved its release. As of early Saturday, the graphic video, which Fox News is not posting here because it shows minors, he had been retweeted nearly 17,000 times. Keep in mind, this is only the first 21 seconds of the video. The mother, using the Twitter handle, The American Diaries, writes, "Please retweet to have the 2 girls and 3 boys held accountable." In the video, which the woman claims was shot by another student and obtained from school officials, one female student in particular appears to overpower the boy as he tries to defend himself. He does not appear to be wearing a Magna hat or any other Trump gear at the time. Other students are seen throwing an occasional punch at the boy as well. And I hope my phone
I'm
doesn't
sorry,
die.
but that should not be just a simple assault charge. That should be
Hey, Abby, I need your
gang related.
I need your charger real quick, please, ma'am.
They should be held
Hurry up.
accountable as a gang assault, not a simple assault.
It says in the video, which the woman claims was shot by another.
Racist assault.
Okay. The boy's mother claims her son required medical treatment for head contusions after the incident. Radio station WFTL of West Palm Beach reported. The woman was also wrote on November 22nd, the day after the incident. "To be clear, my son brought his Trump 2020 hat with his own money at a flea market a few weeks ago. He was proud to wear it. He wore it to school, but due to immediately bullying, he put it away and didn't wear it to school again. Sadly, the damage was already done and was now a target." Goodness sakes, child. I need help here. Okay, guys, so we're gonna have to. Okay, guys. Sorry. Anyway, so the boy's attorney, Foy B. Walker, reposted the video on Twitter on Thursday, writing, represents this victim who was assaulted and injured because he exercised his right to freedom of speech by wearing a Magna hat to school. This assault occurred on the school bus in Hamilton County, Florida. It's bullying as well as an attack on our rights of free speech provided by the First Amendment, he added in a separate tweet. Walker tagged President Trump, Senator Rick Scott, a Republican from Florida, and Florida's GOP Governor Ron DeSantis in several tweets. The mother also tweeted a photo of her son in a hospital bed with his face covered, writing, "I am sitting in the hospital with my 14-year-old boy because he was jumped by 8 black kids on a school bus. I guess that's what happens when a kid wears a Trump hat to school. And who's the violent ones again? Earlier today, they poured milk over his head." Superintendent Rex Mitchell said in a letter he released Friday that the Hamilton County School District investigation conducted within 22 days since the fight occurred revealed no evidence that the student was wearing a political hat showing support for President Trump at the time of the altercation, or that he is wearing of such apparel on prior occasion motivated the incident. "We absolutely do not condone the use of physical force between students," Mitchell said. "This was a very unfortunate incident, completely unrelated to any political statements or agendas.
Well, good. Then they need to
However,
make
we
it a
will
racial
continue to
thing.
evaluate our safety procedures to prevent a future event that ensures the students on the Hamilton County School District." And I saw the video, guys, and like I said, this video it's horrible, and And I'm upset because I think the bus driver should have stopped the bus. I mean, and that is my opinion. I believe he could have stopped it from escalating. Couldn't see where the ditch was. You could fall through. Yeah. I hear you, Scan. That's and people home. If you aren't homeschooling should look more and more appeasing. Hey, Brian, how are you, hon? Um. Anyway, so let's see. I have. Um. That was the first story that I wanted to cover on my headlines, guys. Is that what I call them? Some bus drivers don't even watch. Yeah, I know that you have to pay attention to the road and things of that nature, but I also think you need to pay attention to what's going on. And clearly, from the video that I did see, and I'm sure anyone that wants to see it can go view it on Twitter, because that's where I see. I actually saw it on Facebook as well. It's just a horrendous video. It really is. Anyway, I have that article. Also, that says that there was one person shot at Atlanta area mall and a suspect at large. But the shoppers at an Atlanta area mall sent into a panic Saturday as a gunman opened fire during the busy Christmas shopping season. Shots were fired at the Cumberland Mall early Saturday afternoon, in Cobb County police confirmed. Cobb County Police said in the early afternoon tweet that there was no active shooter and that the shots were not fired randomly. Instead, their information indicated involved parties know one another. Therefore, the incident was isolated to them. Police later gave an update, tweeting a statement saying 2 people were involved in the shooting, which started during an argument in the food court. Police said 1 person was shot and taken to the hospital for treatment. The suspect fled the scene, and police are working to locate him. Police said the multiple shoppers experienced panic attacks as people rushed to get out of the mall during the shooting. This is from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution reports. And this comes from KKTV, Channel 11 News. And this is, I believe, the incident that, it doesn't mention Jordan's, but I believe this is the incident that Marf is referring to. So I'll be interested into seeing what article he has tonight. But this is the article that I have, and it is from KKTV 11 News. And then Clint Eastwood, guys, hounded for a sexist movie, but is the director of a misogynistic or master troll. Clint Eastwood, Richard Jewell, tells the story of an innocent man whose life is ruined by a media witch hunt, featuring a reporter who sleeps with sources for gossip. Oh, that sounds just so much like what goes on now, doesn't it? To say journalists are offended is an underestimate. Journalists are used to movies that portray them as heroes, as champions of justice who speak the truth to power and against all odds reveal the crimes the powerful want to keep hidden. Spotlight told the story of the Boston Globe's investigate unit revealing systematic child abuse by the Catholic Church. All the President's Men recounted how Bob Woodward and Carl Bernstein caught Richard Nixon bugging the Watergate Hotel. Veronica Guerin showed viewers how one Irish journalist helped bring down the country's biggest crime kingpin in the 1990s. Superman was the journalist in his day job by crying out loud. Clint Eastwood, one of the Hollywood's last surviving Republicans, tells a different story in Richard Jewell. The titular Jewell was a security guard who saved countless lives when he ushered crowds of people away from a pipe bomb during the 1996 Summer Olympics in Atlanta, Georgia. Initially hailed as a hero, Jewell later became a suspect in the FBI investigation, a fact revealed by his hometown paper, the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. Jewell was hounded by the media for several months and portrayed as a disgruntled lone bomber. He was eventually cleared of involvement that October and issued an apology by the U.S. Attorney General Janet Reno a year later. He died of a heart attack in 2007 after suffering health problems his mother claimed were brought about by the stress of this trial by media. According to the movie, AJC reporter Kathy Scruggs slept with an FBI agent to learn about Jewell being a suspect. The AJC responded with a lawsuit and an angry letter last month claiming there is no evidence that this ever happened. And if the film portrays this, it's an offense and deeply troubling in the Me Too area. The letter also slams Eastwood's core message that the FBI and press are not to be trusted. There is nothing to suggest that Scruggs actually slept with an FBI agent for the leads. She allegedly had a relationship with a law enforcement officer that ended prior to the Olympics, but it is impossible to ask her. Scruggs died in 2001, aged 42. For its part, Warner Brothers responded to the AJC's letter with a staunch defense of its story. It is unfortunate and untimely irony that the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, having been a part of the rush to judgment of Richard Jewell, is now trying to malign our filmmakers and cast. Read a statement from the studio. Just like how reporters en masse cried for critics to be censored for telling them to learn to code. Earlier this year, the media dogpile that followed the movie's preview didn't do much to rehabilitate the image of the journalist as professional complainer. Richard Jewell pushes a damaging myth about female journalists. Stop defending it, demanded The Guardian's Benjamin Lee. I wish Clint Eastwood would do himself what female movie journalists are doing to their sources, wrote Mother Jones, Becca Andrews. On Twitter, the outrage intensified. Depicting women using sex to get stories is disgusting and disrespectful. It's also hacky as hell. I was planning to see this movie, but not anymore, declared the Huffington Post. Jeffrey Young, please do not pay to see this movie. The feature fictional female journalists who sleep with sources for a story. Slate's Mark Joseph Stern chimed in, adding, I don't see an appropriate response other than a flat-out boycott. Well, I'm going to tell you guys, I don't go to the movies ever, but I'm going to pay to go see this movie. I like Clint Eastwood. And I'm going to tell you, there's got to be some truth in it if they're all having a fit about it. I mean, my God, here they are allowed to sling and throw mud at our president on a daily basis, and here they get their feathers ruffled if somebody comes out with something that, oh my goodness sakes, says something about them. Give me a break. This is ridiculous, and I plan to go see it. I hope the rest of you will as well. This is just crazy, guys. Absolutely crazy. Combining through the endless tweets and articles from offended journalists, you'd think that Eastwood had sexually harassed each and every one of them. And about the female journalists would never do anything as base as sleep with the source. Give me a break. And just like, everybody can get mad at Weinstein for all of his sexual tirades. But guess what? These actresses actually did the deed. You know what I'm saying? To get that part. So why, where did people, think that it's going to be any different here? I just don't know. Yeah, exactly. So it's got to be true. Better not mention the New York Times' Allie Watkins, who was years-long relationship with Senator Intelligence Committee staffer while reporting on the committee's work. Or Laura Foreman. Back in the 70s, Foreman, who worked at the Philadelphia Inquirer, had a long-term affair with State Senator Henry Buddy Cianfrocco, writing about him even as he went to prison on racketeering charges and accepting lavish gifts from her lover. Her paper's editor, A.M. Rosenhall, reportedly told her afterwards, it's okay to the elephants, just don't cover the circus. To be clear, these cases are exceptions, not the rule, and some male reporters surely engage in modus of the horizontal cardio with their female sources too. Sex can be a natural byproduct of proximity and shared interest, and nobody should be shocked when it's inevitable. It happens between consenting adults. Biopics always taking certain liberties with the facts of the story for dramatic effect. One can't help but wonder if Eastwood would be facing the same outcry if he dramatized some other aspect of Jewell's tale. Would journalists be up in arms if he hadn't come after their own white knight image? Maybe Eastwood knows this. Maybe inserting a fictionalized sex scene was a deliberate move. After all, it's giving the AGC and the media at large a sample of what they gave Jewell 20 years ago. I'd say kudos to Clint Eastwood, guys. I'm sorry, but I can't help myself, guys. I really, truly can't. It's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. And I know that this is a serious thing, but I cannot help but laugh because look at what they've done to our poor president. for what, 3 years now, 4 years, 5 years, however long it's been. It seems like ages ago. It is insane. Ah.
It's just because
Okay.
the oil off the
Now we have, and I'm just gonna just highlight this, guys, just a little bit. I don't really like the way that they phrase this article, but it is what it is. Fox Business has put out this article that says free agent Antonio Brown says it's time to ghost white women. NFL agent Antonio Brown had a rocky 2019, getting sacked by the New England Patriots after accusations of sexual misconduct. Oh, come on. Misconduct, and later apologizing to fans for inexcusable behavior. He's planning to make changes in 2020 with not dating white women, chief among them. It's a resolution he announced on Twitter during a week of posts that alternately expressed optimism about his career and frustrations with his experiences so far. Earlier this month, the Old Pro wide receiver asked teams for a chance to continue playing in the wake of multiple sexual assaults allegations. If I'm even ever given the opportunity to play the game that I love, I'm going to work extremely hard to show the world how much I appreciate another chance, he said, at a lengthy Instagram post in which he apologized to anyone who I offended. The apology didn't include an admission of wrongdoing and allegations from two women who have accused Brown of misconduct, triggering an NFL investigation, and has yet to conclude. While my behavior was inexcusable, sometimes when people are coming at you with false information and allegations, we handle ourselves in ways that sometimes regret, he wrote. Brown, who once played for the Steelers, demands he's released from the Oakland Raiders after the team fined him for missing practice. When the release was granted, he signed a 1-year, $15 million contract with the Patriots, which included $9 million guaranteed. Well, he's not hurting, guys, so let's not feel sorry for him. The NFL veteran now has been spending grievances about the Raiders and the Patriots seeking unpaid salary, but Bleacher Report says that at least 20 teams, including almost every potential playoff contender, are interested in signing him. So obviously, even with the looming sexual allegations, he still might get a chance because of who he is, which I think is wrong. Until he is cleared of wrongdoing, I don't think anyone should touch him. But that's my opinion. But anyway. And we can't go blame the white girls for, his issues. But hey, it is, again, another race issue, guys, that I think that people are trying to throw out there in the mix. And I would avoid it with all costs. But, I say, again, until you are cleared, I would not pick up anybody that has any looming charges over them. I know you are innocent until proven guilty, but you've got to take these things serious. And I think that that's been ongoing for a little while now. Then from Fox News, we have, oh my God, where did my thingy go? Come on, really? All right, let's see if we can go back to it. There we go. Hallmark pulls Zola commercial off of bride kissing. What the? Hallmark pulls the Zola commercial of brides kissing after a conservative group calls for a boycott. And I believe this is what Deb was talking about yesterday, where Hallmark was being boycotted for what was going on. But it says Hallmark Channel has pulled a commercial featuring brides kissing during a same-sex wedding ceremony just days after conservative group launched a campaign calling on the network to pull the ad. The commercial from the wedding planning website Zola features a lesbian couple celebrating their nuptials. The ad first debuted on all Hallmark on December 2nd. Earlier this week, 1 Million Moms, a division of the American Family Association that claims its mission is to stop the exploitation of our children, especially by the entertainment media, launched a petition urging Hallmark to stop airing the commercial and other LGBT content. Kathy Lee, the Hallmark Channel has always been known for its family-friendly movies. Even its commercials are usually safe for family viewing. But unfortunately, this is not the case anymore. 1 million moms said on its website. The organization said the other viewers expressed concerns over the Zola commercial on the channel's online complaint board. Why would you show a lesbian wedding commercial on the Hallmark channel? Hallmark movies are family friendly, and you ruined it with the commercial, one viewer said, according to the conservative group. Now parents can no longer trust the Hallmark because Hallmark is no longer allowing parents to be the primary educators when it comes to sex and sexual morality, added 1 million moms, which described homosexuality as a sinful lifestyle that Scripture clearly deems wrong. On Thursday, Zola was informed that 4 of its 6 ads that had previously aired on Hallmark would be pulled. We are not allowed to accept creatives that are deemed controversial, a Hallmark account representative said in an email exchange with Zola ad buyer, according to the New York Times. Well, no, because it's going to damn their ratings. I mean, everybody was going to boycott it. The decisions not to air the overt public displays of affection in a sponsored advertisement, regardless of the participants, is in line with our current policy, which includes not featuring political advertisements, offensive language, R-rated movie content, and many other categories. In a statement provided to Fox News, Hallmark said Crown Media Family networks made the decision to pull the commercials. The debate surrounding these commercials on all sides was distracting from the purpose of our network, which is to provide entertainment value, a Hallmark representative said. The only difference between the commercials that were flagged and the ones that were approved was that the commercials they did not meet Hallmark standard included a lesbian couple kissing, Zola Chief Marketing Officer Mike Chi said in a statement provided to Fox News on Saturday. Hallmark approved a commercial where the heterosexual couple kissed. All kiss couples in marriages and equal celebrations of love, and we no longer be advertising on Hallmark, she said. The controversy came days after the outfit kit, which we already know, so I'm not rereading that. Anyway, that's the end of that. Then, okay, so then my last story for today is what's hiding under the ice? The deepest point on land discovered in breakthrough Antarctica study. For decades, radar instruments have crisscrossed the Antarctica, sending down microwave pulses to peer through the ice and trace the underlying rock topography. Yet there are still vast areas for which this is little or no data. The deepest point on the continental Earth has been discovered in East Antarctica under the Denman Glacier by an international team of researchers led by the glaciologist from the University of California, Irvine. The icy canyon reaches 3.5 kilometers, which is 11,500 feet below sea level, with only ocean valleys boasting a greater depth for comparison. The lowest exposed land on Earth at the Dead Sea shore is just 413 meters, which is 1,355 below sea level. The trenches in the ocean are deeper, but this is the deepest canyon on land, explained Dr. Morgan, lead author of the study. Researchers made the remarkable discovery as part of the project to create the most detailed map of the land between Antarctica. The map bed machine and findings related to it were published on the 12th of December. The journal Nature Geoscience bed machine is topography made the Antarctica the comprehensible show it ridges, trenches, and slopes, and was assembled using data from 19 research institutions going back over 40 years. Scientists used radar and satellite images to work out the thickness of the ice and that the land below. This is undoubtedly the most accurate portrait yet of what lies beneath Antarctica's ice sheet, said Dr. Matthew Morgan. Despite radar instruments intensively used over the decade to survey Antarctica, they remained a vast gap. Oh my goodness sakes. Hold on. Sorry. Switched it by accident trying to catch it. Intensely used the decade survey, they remained a vast gap in the airborne surveys of the continent. For the project, Morglum came up with the new technique to see the ground under the ice, relying on satellite data of changes to the surface, snow accumulation, and lines of radar data that can be applied to the area where the radar is unavailable. The biggest challenge with the Antarctica is huge, so applying this method to the entire coast was very time consuming. It took about 5 years to get to the bed machine, he said. Once completed, however, the researchers were able to find previously unknown features below the ice. Thus, the new map revealed ridges across the troughs that feed the Ross Ice Shelf, the largest ice shelf in the Antarctica. This area has been of concern to climate scientists, as research suggests it could be at risk of collapsing under projected global warming. And blah, 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 blah. We know we hate global warming. I hate saying that word. The new finding shows previously unknown ridges that might impede the retreat of melting glaciers if the world were to grow significantly warmer in some smooth sloping terrains that could accelerate such a process. If something happened to the Ross Sea ice shelf, and right now it's fine, but if something happened, it would likely not trigger the collapse of East Antarctica through these gates. If East Antarctica is threatened, it's not from the Ross Sea, Dr. Morgelm said. Data from the bed machine Antarctica will be fed into the climate modules that try to project how the continent might evolve in the future. Anyway, for those people that are interested in the Antarctica, and I think everybody is kind of interested in it at this point juncture in time, just because of all the talk about global warming, and just how everything is connected to the Antarctica and things of that nature. Anytime there's an article on it, I tend to grab it up. And so that is the headlines for today, guys. I don't know what anybody wants to talk about for a few minutes. If anything, if not, I am good with ending this story this time. But anyway, so that's the headlines I have, guys. It's been a busy day somewhat. And for those that didn't get to see all the headlines, this is in two parts. One, because Marf went live and we stopped the stream to go check Marf out. And when he ended, I came back over and picked back up where I left off, guys. So I apologize, but anytime Marf goes live, I do end my streams and I go check him out because I kind of just feel like he probably has more important things going on, and I want to support him. So and I want to know what he's saying. So so we jumped over there for a minute and we came back and we just finished up with what I had. And so well, thank you, Helen. Thank each and every one of you for coming. And I hope to see everybody in Bible study. I saw the mall shooting. There's an article in the Wixit site, JR. I did have an article for that. But it didn't say anything except for that it was between two people that knew each other, is what it said. And that's all that I know. That's what the article said anyway. It was that I had, was that they knew each other. So maybe Marv has a different article that he's going to share tonight. But the article, I'll recap that one. It just says that the police, one person shot at an Atlanta area mall, suspect at large. Shoppers at an Atlanta area mall were sent into panic Saturday as a gunman opened fire during the busy Christmas shopping season. Shots were fired at the Cumberland Mall early Saturday afternoon in Cobb County, police confirmed. Cobb County Police said early afternoon tweet that there was no active shooter, that the shots were not fired randomly. Instead, their information indicated that the involved parties know one another. Therefore, the incident wasn't isolated to them. Police later gathered an update, tweeting a statement saying two people people were involved in the shooting, which started during an argument in the food court. Police said one person was shot and taken to a hospital for treatment. The suspect fled the scene, and police are working to locate him. Cobb County Police spokesperson Officer Sarah O'Hara said the male victim was in surgery and was expected to survive, the Associated Press reports. Police also said multiple shoppers experienced panic attack as people rushed to get them out of the mall during the shooting. And the other big story that I covered, I think, which was a pretty big story, is the one about France being in the dark. And they're not really in the dark, but there's a power outage that took place, and it left 2 people dead, and it's caused from flooding and things of that nature. But anyway, I will be back. I will see you at the Bible study. Okay, Mark, I am so glad to see you and hope to see you at Bible study. I understand if you're not there though, you fell asleep, and I do get that. But I do hope to see you, and I hope to see everybody in Marf later. We know he'll be live. So God bless each and every one of you, and we will see you at 8 o'clock for Bible study, which is in about 20 minutes, I think, 25 minutes. So that's the same storm that hit Iceland? Yeah. Pretty bad stuff. Yes, indeed. I know, Mark. Okay. We'll see you guys later, either in Marf or at Bible study. And if not, I'll be here tomorrow at 5. God bless each and every one of you. Thank you. Bye.